That way we can have all these great recordings. In case we need to use it for an intro, then you could sidewind me by saying, "Hey, welcome to Major Ego," and then I feel like a fucking fool.
Yeah.
You were recording that the entire time after I started ranting, huh?
About halfway through, yeah.
Fuck. Point still stands.
Yeah, well, you don't know the difference between a Welsh accent and a Canadian accent, so there.
Well, you shouldn't sound like fucking Nia from Xenoblade.
I didn't.
When you say
I said something. I said something in a Canadian accent, and you were like, "What is that, Welsh?" No.
Oh, yes.
Welsh people do not sound like Canadians.
Repeat what you said like before you recorded, and let the people decide.
I said, "Oh yeah, fuck you and your loud cars, there, bud."
That's 100% Welsh.
That is 100% Canadian, which is 100% not Welsh.
Oh, I'm going to fucking smack you right on your right bottom.
I'm gonna smack you right on your white bottom. That's probably closer to what you were thinking. That's definitely not Canadian.
No, you need to play Xenoblade. Ah!
Never gonna happen.
It's a great video game, you fucking mongrel.
Welcome to Nonstop Debate, everybody.
We're already off to a great start.
A great start. We're talking about Miss Pekoyama today, who's got one of the most fun names to say.
Oh, and the illustrious J-Man is not here. I am a different alter ego. My name is Jacko Simp.
Okay.
Even though I sound like J-Man and I'm not changing my personality at all, I am a different person.
Where did this bit come from, the fuck?
Because we're talking about Peko, right? And her entire bullshit, which she did in the trial.
Oh, I got you. My real-life reaction to Shining Justice. Okay, what the fuck where did this bit come from? That's literally probably what I said. IRL.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
God. Imagine how confused Fuyuhiko must have been. Because, like, he knew she was bullshit, and he's just like... You know that confused expression that Nero does in Devil May Cry 5 when Virgil, like, resurrects and is like, "Thank you, Nero," and then he walks into the portal, and Nero's like, "The fuck?"
What? I always think of, like, the Mark Wahlberg from The Shining, whenever everyone's starting to die, and he's just sitting like...
God.
Not The Shining, It's not The Shining. What's the one with where the wind was the cause of everyone's deaths? The Happening. That's what it's called. The Happening.
Oh. I was gonna say, I was like, I didn't know Mark Wahlberg was in The Shining. Maybe I missed something. I haven't watched it for a while, but...
I am very bad at names.
Oh, you're good. So yeah, we're talking about Miss Peko today. Who, much like Mahiru, had some potential, and she just unfortunately does not really go anywhere.
You quit! You had your chance, you quit!
A lot of this chapter just makes me sad, honestly.
This entire chapter could be summed up in that part clip. You quit!
Fuyuhiko character development. The chapter.
Great. Yes, good. Fuyuhiko's development. What about the other two?
What was the title of this chapter? What was this chapter called?
Fuck.
I just realized that like all the chapters and all the games have names, and I don't think ever discussed them.
Yeah, no, I know it was something fucking stupid, man.
Yeah, I don't remember, but whatever this chapter was called, it might as well have just been called the Fuyuhiko Development Hour. Sorry.
C and
the 2 hour.
Sin and coconuts.
Alright. Sin and coconuts, huh?
C and coconuts.
Oh, C and coconuts. Well.
Sin and punishment, C and coconuts.
Alright.
Has nothing to do with the fucking case at all.
Well, I mean, the sin and punishments part relates pretty well into Peko.
Right.
And Mahiru both, actually. So.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's get started on design here. I'm just gonna say it straight up. I think she's got a banger fucking design.
You like black and red aesthetic. Shut your
I do.
mouth.
Black and red with like a hint of white is a great color scheme. And I was thinking about this earlier today too. Is it like it's kind of a joke color scheme because it's always attributed to like the super edgy shit.
Yeah.
But I think it really works for Peko because it doesn't feel like it's overdone. You know?
Yeah. It's another good character like choice. Like it's not just because it's black and red doesn't mean it's always edgy. A good character I always think about when I ever think, oh, black and red color scheme with a little bit of white, Soul, when everything is Sue.
Yeah.
From Soul Eater.
That's not necessarily overdone either.
Yeah.
It's very fitting. And her clothes don't even have like a dark black to them. It's more of like a charcoal gray. Yeah. Which I feel kind of like the lighter shade of color eases up on it even more to help it not feel so like heavy.
She looks like she's a graduate from the Helltaker school of killing people.
Yeah. I love the red irises, the white hair. She's got the like classic schoolgirl uniform. It's just colored to match the rest of her scheme.
Right.
Overall, honestly, I think she looks great. The sword on her
Smoking
back.
hot body.
Yeah. Thank you, Jared. Thank you for adding that. The sword on her back and the way her hair is styled also really helps her stand out through like silhouette test. She's pretty easy to pick out of a crowd, I would say.
She's the only twin-tailed ponytail girl that doesn't make me immediately groan until she puts on the mask. Because no one will care who I was
until the mask shows up. Yeah, then you're just kind of like, take that stupid thing off.
Not this bullshit again.
But yeah, I don't have any problems with her design. Actually, I think she looks great.
Actually, if we do the silhouette rule, she looks too much like Toko.
She does have a bit going on with Toko, but she's much taller than Toko, and her twin tails are much thicker.
Longer. Yeah, thicker and longer.
Yeah. So. She does share quite a bit of a design similarity with Toko, though, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She's just edgier Toko. But that's... Yeah,
then again, I guess now that you think of it, they're both technically the quote-unquote serial killer of this game.
Right.
Of games 1 and 2, respectively, so...
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Nah. Danganronpa 1, actual serial killer kills no one. Danganronpa 2, serial killer in quotation
marks. The fake serial killer kills someone.
And then Danganronpa 3, actual serial killer kills actually somebody with stupid seesaw gimmick.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Role and talent, Peko is the Blackened of Chapter 2. And Ultimate Swordswoman, which is actually a really cool fucking talent.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those cases where I have to give it props because her talent does come into play here. Because not only does it make sense, it's like in Trigger Happy Havoc when you learned that Sayaka got her wrist broken from the Golden Katana. And then when you find out it's Leon like 2 minutes later, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Because if he's the ultimate baseball star, he would have a really good batting arm. And if he has a really good batting arm, I could believe that he could shatter someone's fucking wrist with a blunt object like that.
Not to mention he's the only one who can make that fucking shot.
Yeah. So when you learn that like Mahiru died like instantly from a blow to the head and you see the murder weapon as a bat, the second focus goes to like Peko, you're like, oh, I see it.
The coolest part about this case is how Peko escaped the locked room.
Because that was one of the big things was like they established that like you needed a second person almost to help you get out. And you figure out that she could have easily done it with just her sword. And it's like, oh, that's really smart. That's really clever.
Right.
It's a really well done murder. I will give it that credit. She, plus the whole rinsing herself off in the shower so that she didn't like look covered in blood. And then she just shows up later after that. And she's like, oh yeah, I was just taking a swim before everyone showed up. Like,
alibi.
Yeah, the alibi kind of helps her check out. She's not immediately suspicious unless I guess you're like paying really close attention to the crime scene. But even then, it's like there's a lot of evidence that like writes her off.
Anyone can murder anyone with a bat.
Yeah, it's the fact that Mahiru dies instantly. That's kind of your first giveaway. But even then, it's still like, well, Nekomaru or Akane could also probably do that because they're wickedly fucking strong for some reason.
But they also confirm each other's alibis, though.
Yeah. Because you see them fighting on the beach.
Yeah. Fuyuhiko's mad suspicious.
Yeah. He's the most suspicious one, I think. But that's kind of what clues you in that it's not him, it's Peko. is
Right.
because like it's surrounding him, and you're just like, it's way too obvious to be Fuyuhiko though. You know,
Yeah, I do
he's your red
Peko.
herring.
I do like the character development that Peko like sees herself as like a tool,
Mm-hmm.
and so she tried to loophole. She tried to game the system to get Fuyuhiko out. Because if she claims that she's like a tool of a person, order her to do it, then Fuyuhiko technically murdered Mahihiru.
Yeah.
But Monokuma's like, Lamau, fuck off. No, that's not how this works.
Yeah. I don't know. It's. I like the development that she gets, but like excluding any free time that you probably will get, which isn't a lot because I'm pretty sure there's some times of like the days before where she's like unavailable, so you're only able to get a little bit of free time with her. But excluding that, she only really gets character development here when she dies.
I mean,
when she gets caught and then when she gets executed, and it's just kind of like...
Does it count when she's a red herring in the bathroom in chapter 1? As character development?
I mean, not really, because she's just talking about how she had to shit really bad.
Yeah.
So she just confirms it. Yeah, she and Nekomaru like confirm each other as alibis basically in chapter 1, just because they both really had to fucking shit. So
nothing beats a good shit. I can't wait to talk about Nekomaru.
Oh my god, dude. He's such a mess of a character, but he's a fun mess. Yeah. Unlike some other people in this game.
Yeah.
Grr. But yeah. The murder overall, chapter 2, I don't really have any problems with it. It's got a good twist, it's well executed, the killer's very smart, it's believable.
Until Shining Justice.
The Shining Justice nonsense in the trial is where this chapter loses me. That and the stupid fucking Twilight Syndrome murder case is also a bit fucking... Both that and the Shining Justice bit make this chapter a drag compared to chapter 1.
Right.
Because chapter 1 keeps the beats coming with Togami being like familiar, quote unquote, to the player, dying immediately, the build up for his character, Nagito's reveal, the twist that it's Teru's development. Like, it keeps the beats coming at an interesting pace, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. Chapter 2 kind of... God, it just drags you along with Twilight Syndrome murder case. And then when you finally figure that out, then you've got the actual murder that you've got to look at and how they correlate to each other. And then when you finally you start the trial going through Twilight Syndrome murder case, and then you go through the actual murder, and then the reveal comes along that it's Peko, and then you go another hour with the Shining Justice stuff. And it's like, dude, just let it be in. Let it be over, you know? The Shining Justice bit is so not important. You don't need it at all.
It also doesn't help. You spend 2 days at this fucking arcade machine trying to get it, trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah. This whole chapter just drags on because of these two things, and it's not that Twilight Syndrome is like bad. It could be improved, but it's like Shining Justice also could have worked, but it doesn't. And the fact that both of these things are just kind of here and they're half-assed, it's like you could have just cut one of these and focused entirely on the other, and it would have been fine.
Right. Because Shining Justice was mentioned once as like a passing comment, and I remember when Dylan like made this comment, I was like, oh boy, I wonder if Shining Justice is going to appear, because it's all highlighted, it's named, it's got to be important, right?
Well, and then it's just one passing like conversation with Sonya before the murder happens.
Right. And that's Peko was there, so she just completely masqueraded.
Yeah.
I do like the part where like Sonya was like, but she's supposed to be Spanish, so she should be speaking completely in Spanish right now. And you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah. That's another thing that gets me is like, why did Peko even do that?
Right.
I didn't really see... Oh, that's right. She did it to try and convince everyone that Fuyuhiko had no part in it and that it was all her.
Right.
That's right. Still,
really
though,
stupid reason.
Yeah, well, it's not that stupid when you think about her as a character, but it's still like... you didn't really have to do this. And
Right.
like I said, if you wanted to do the Shining Justice, put more time into it. It feels so, like...
They literally photoshopped the mask on top of her sprite. Nothing
Yeah.
changed.
I mean, they edited her eye through the mask hole, through the eye hole in
Right.
the mask, which does
Well,
look
that's
pretty
such a-
cool. Some of her sprites in the Shining Justice mask do look pretty cool because of the way her eyes glow through the dark.
Right.
But that's about the only good thing I've got to say about it, really.
Compared to fucking Toko. Toko's actually better at something than...
Jill is so cool. Jill is more
Yeah.
fun than Toko. I'd rather have Jill around all the time.
Yeah. And Jill has so many different sprites compared to Toko.
Yeah. Well, because she has
I
a
mean,
whole
compared-
sprite set for Jill, because it's a whole different character.
Yeah, if they did that extra mile and they put a lot of like effort into making Shining Justice looks distinctively different, instead of just doing, you know, the Photoshop job of the mask over the
Yeah,
face.
instead of just doing a redo of all her normal sprite sets just with the mask over top and the eye a little more noticeable.
Right.
Which some of them still do look pretty cool, but again, it's like, this is just kind of a waste of time.
Right.
Especially at the end when the only payoff is that she was like, no, I was just pretending so you guys wouldn't think Fuyuhiko was guilty too.
Well,
And it's like, that's a good enough reason, but it's like, like I said, you should have just either done Twilight Syndrome and no Shining Justice, or you should have done Shining Justice and no Twilight Syndrome. Like, one or the other.
Right.
The fact that
Putting
both
too
of
much
them are here and both of them aren't fully, like, worked through properly as good ideas, it just makes this whole chapter fucking suck.
Believe it or not, this is not the most egregious thing of wasting your fucking time ever in Danganronpa.
Yeah, I know.
That's what the
Unfortunately,
sad part is.
V3 is the king of that.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
In one chapter. One chapter.
I don't think this chapter's bad. I just think it's a slog. I think there have been chapters in the past that have felt like they've gone on too long, and there's definitely more to come, but this one I think is one of the biggest offenders because there's just so much else that you could have done here, and
I think this is the second worst chapter. I think this is the second worst chapter overall.
Yeah. It's got a lot of good things about it, like Fuyuhiko's development. What we get of Mahiru and Peko is pretty great, but like we said last episode, most of the focus just goes straight into Fuyuhiko.
You scratch that. This is the worst chapter in my opinion, because I don't find even with like chapters that I know are bad, like the next chapter and where they have a plot hole, there's still some interesting things happening. In V3's case, there's a lot of cool Teko things. There's the cult of Angie.
V3 has a lot of good stuff going on for it. Yeah, it's just like the payoff doesn't feel worth it because of like the things that Kyo does.
I feel the payoff we get cheated, but that doesn't like really like distinguish the chapter as a whole.
Yeah.
2 is just 2-2 is just a fucking slog through and through. Nothing interesting happens except for the swimsuit stuff, because God bless Papa Soda.
That is pretty fun, broing it up with Soda, even though I didn't really like Soda that much.
Yeah.
I was like, Soda... I was literally the guy who was like... He's just like, oh man, maybe we'll get lucky and get to see Miss Sonia in a bikini. And I was like, Soda, you are a fucking virgin. Shut up. And then I kind of like looked over and I was like, that would be pretty cool, though. I'm not gonna lie.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
God, like literally, like Soda's like, God, you're such a loser, but I'm also horny, so let's go.
That was literally how I responded. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
But that is like the only redeeming thing on this chapter is a couple of the beats right here, because the motive. The opening motive sucked.
Well, you gotta figure out Twilight Syndrome to even figure out what the fucking motive is.
Yeah.
And Twilight Syndrome in itself is a whole nother fucking murder that you have to solve.
Right.
And it's like, I like that idea of having 2 murders to solve in one that brings a lot of like character development into like Peko and Fuyuhiko, but
we know we're gonna do that next chapter.
Yeah, but it's like it all gets forced into this one chapter. And then, like I keep saying, there's Shining Justice on top of that, which is a whole nother hour of the trial that you need to go through that doesn't really mean anything.
Danganronpa should just stop doing double murders. They only did the one good one. And that good one, I give like a 6 out of 10.
Well, like we said, V3-3 is fine. It's just the ending of it, they fucking, like, dropped the ball.
Yeah.
I think that one still turned out all right.
Right.
Yeah, this game is a bit rough, but like this chapter is like, I guess it kind of is a double murder when you think about it, huh?
Yeah.
It's just not like two members of the Killing Game. It's a character from before the Killing Game.
Also, doesn't help that Kaede, the Fuyuhika's sisters, look strikingly like Kaede.
Yeah, that was a little weird too, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. There's good things about this chapter for sure. Like I said, the murder is great. A lot of the character development we get on Fuyuhiko is solid moving forward. What we get of Mahiru and Peko is fine. I just wish there was more.
I will criticize one thing about the voice direction of Peko, though, during this chapter. It would be a lot better if Peko's VA put a little bit more life into it. And that's not necessarily the voice actor's fault, because we clearly, in this game specifically, we have some great fucking voice acting talent, but the direction they did with Peko was kind of bad.
Well, because she's very like quiet and reserved before this chapter anyways, and she only really comes to life when she gets cornered.
Right. And I wish she should have just gone all out, instead of still being like, I am shining justice, and compared to what other voice actors, like fucking Nagito, oh my god. When he fucking pops off, he pops off. Fuyuhiko's breakdown, great.
Yeah. It's... I don't know, man. I definitely don't think it's bad. I do agree I probably could have been a little more, like, lively, though.
Right.
It might be... I'm not a voice actor, but I imagine it would be kind of hard when you're, like, doing a character who's so reserved that when you have to, like, put more life into it like that, it's like, what does that even sound like? You know?
Right.
Because, like, I've had to write a new character for a side, like, writing job that I'm doing. Not really job, it's just more a hobby thing. But, like, I had to come up with a whole new character. And for the first little while, it took me forever to even come up with something as simple as, like, what's their favorite pastime activity kind of thing. Because my brain is so, like, I always get so into the characters' like heads that, like, something as, like, simple as that I couldn't even think of. I'm like, I don't know this character yet. Like, what would they even do in their free time? You know? I had a lot of trouble answering that for, like, a week or two until it finally just very naturally, I was just like, oh, this is what they do. But that still took me time to, like, really get into the character's mind and think about it and figure it out. And being a voice actor on a project like this, I don't know if you have that kind of time exactly because of deadlines that you need to do. Right. But it's like...
Not to mention re-recordings and...
Yeah.
Different takes.
I can't imagine what that would be like, trying to, like, figure out what your, like, quiet, reserved character would sound like in a breakdown. You know, I have no idea what that would sound like if I was so used to doing them the complete opposite.
Right.
So...
Celeste Lundenberg.
Celeste is a good example. Yeah, she's pretty quiet and reserved, but she has her few moments, like, with Hifumi before chapter... I think it's, like, in the middle of chapter 2, where she, like, snaps at Hifumi for making her tea wrong, and you get to see a little bit of the real Celeste.
Yeah.
For a quick second.
In chapter 3.
Yeah, and then the breakdown in chapter 3. That's a great example. Celeste is... her voice actor did a really good job.
Yeah.
I don't know if Peko's voice actor shares with other characters from the first or third game, but...
Trivia!
I'm sure she does. I definitely don't think she did a bad job. I'm just saying that I think that's definitely one of the challenges that comes with voice work, especially in a game like this, where your character can just... If your character's one of the murderers, you have to figure out what they would sound like if they're cornered emotionally, like that.
Yeah. Also, another character, Mikon.
Mikon's a good example, too, yeah. Not quite the quiet, reserved type, but definitely not the, like, over-the-top type either. So.
Yeah. That's the only time I'm going to complain about voice acting, because other than that, everything's perfectly fine.
Yeah. We already kind of covered personality, so I guess we just got Death left to talk about. Her execution is... It's
lame. Weird. It's lame.
I wouldn't really say it's lame. It's just, it's another one of the things that gets taken from her as a character and given to Fuyuhiko this chapter.
Right.
Like, I'd say even Mahiru's murder gets taken from her as a character, because most of your focus goes into fucking Fuyuhiko's sister in Twilight Syndrome. And then by the
Right.
time you start talking about Mahiru, it's like, all right, yeah, she's dead too, but why?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like a lot of the focus, because like in the past, and I think we talked about this before in the last 2 episodes too, covering Mahiru and Fuyuhiko, like Trigger Happy Havoc, Chapter 2 is a great example, funny enough. You learn so much about Mondo and Chihiro from this chapter, which is the chapter where both of them die. And
Right.
they get the majority of the lion's share of the focus. I'm very tired. Jesus.
Plus Taka.
Plus Taka, but it mostly goes into Mondo and Chihiro, and you learn a lot
Right.
about the both of them as characters before they're both gone forever. And
Right.
we've criticized the first, and I'm pretty sure this game, for doing this, where the characters don't really have a lot of focus until their chapter comes up, and then they're gone.
Mhm.
But some of that also probably relies on the player spending free time with them specifically before they're gone, which makes the moment hit harder for some than others, which
Right.
is sometimes a bad thing, but I guess in the early Danganronpa games worked for the time. It works much better in the first game, I think, because the characters are getting their focus that they need for that moment to actually hit, and
And
it's
then
not
V3,
unbalanced.
And then in V3, everyone gets focus.
Yeah, everyone gets plenty of like characterization before they are either murdered or get executed or are just the end of the game for whatever reason. Right. Danganronpa 2 feels pretty imbalanced some of the time. Right. Actually, a lot of the time, come to think of it, between like Akane and this whole chapter with Fuyuhiko and the 2 girls.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no one is really... Some characters just get fucked in terms of development in this whole game. Right. And I think Mahiru and Peko are both very good examples of that, because most of their chapter and their time to shine gets given to Fuyuhiko, which really helps him along because he is a good character for it, but you're also sacrificing the development of 2 more characters to make this one so good. Which I don't think is a great way to go about it, because that's how you wind up with an overall cast like this game that only has like 2 or 3 really good characters.
The problem with this game is like, yeah, people will say this is their favorite game cast, but excluding the anime, like who has the most character development out of the entire game? It's going to be Chiaki, Nagito, Hajime, Fuyuhiko.
Yeah, Nagito by a mile more than any of the others.
Yes. And then if you go back to like that Danganronpa 1, where you look at the other characters, like, oh yeah, I like Taka because he was a good leader and he was a good source of camaraderie. Mondo was a cool dude. Sayaka was a good starter person. Leon, okay, never mind.
Leon was something.
So, Leon, okay.
It's like Makoto was a great first protagonist. Sayaka was your first friend, a horrible victim. Leon was there. So
Hifumi, very good punching bag. Celeste, very cool design, very cool breakdown. Sakura, oh my god.
Sakura's a great character, and there's so much like there's so much like underlying stuff for Sakura that they didn't have to put like on screen and in your face, and it's the kind of stuff that you don't realize about her until after she's gone. Like, that is really well done stuff, and unfortunately there isn't really a lot of that in this game.
It's Gundam gets that. Gundam
gets a good portion of that in this game. Yeah, funny enough, both the Chapter 4 guys, but
yep.
Yeah, I wish Chapter 2 was better.
Like, if I had to compare who was better written, Gundam or Sakura, Sakura by a fucking mile.
Sakura is much better, yeah. Danganronpa 1, it's weird, because like Trigger Happy Havoc, I feel like coming over into Goodbye Despair, the team learned a lot about what they wanted to do with like characters and like going with the story. But I feel like a lot of the like magic of how the characters were written was lost moving from Trigger Happy Havoc, because the cast in the first game, I know we rated most of them pretty middle of the road, but that's because that's what they were, and for a first game they were all pretty solid, and it feels like a step down coming into Danganronpa 2 in comparison.
Yep. Because a lot of characters get left by the wayside, and like the only characters that I think be left by the wayside in the first game was Leon and Yasuhiro. But you can make the Yasuhiro argument as like he's the guy who's literally the tutorial guy. I'm like, okay, guys, can you break it down for simpler terms for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's basically what he was used for, and I think that's kind of why we let it slide, was because he became the comedy. He became the comic relief for like the second half of the game, and he was there for new players to kind of like get the understanding of what was going on in case they weren't following.
Right.
I don't think we really have a character like that here, but I guess it's the second game, so they kind of expect it. I mean, Chapter 1 of this game is pretty good, and it doesn't really expect to like hold your hand. It just kind of like gets into it, you know?
Yeah. Chiaki does a little bit of that. Chiaki literally was like, okay, you alright? Do you know what you're going on?
A little bit, but she doesn't necessarily feel like she's there for the audience. She feels like she's there more for Hajime as a character.
V3 fucking kicks you in the balls and says, figure this out yourself.
Yeah, V3 literally pushes you out of the nest and says, you're on your own, kid.
Yeah. You'll have moral support, but that's it.
Yeah.
You won't have any other
You're not even gonna have that once you hit a certain chapter, buddy. Good. Yeah. I don't know, man. God, we didn't even really talk about the execution. It's dramatic.
Very dramatic.
It's the only one of its kind, really, that I can think of where it's like so involved on like another character besides the Blackened.
Right.
And I think it really does a good job at like showing that deeper feeling between her and Fuyuhiko.
Right.
I think it's really cool getting to see her take on an army of Monokumas and just only lose because she has to protect Fuyuhiko. Yeah. I think that's really symbolic. That's very good. Right. I think the execution itself is fine. It's just, combined with everything else, it's just another element of taking from her and giving to Fuyuhiko, and that's kind of what makes me sad. But on its own merit as an execution, it's pretty good.
Besides Suichi, I think Fuyuhiko was like the only person who actually tried to stop an execution. Suichi tried, but no, there was no way.
There was nothing he was going to be able to do. Yeah.
Fuyuhiko made a good, solid attempt, and he lost an eye for it.
Yeah, unfortunately. So.
Right.
Oh, man. We're probably going to be repeating a lot of these points like we always do by the end of the video, but yeah. Let's go to Ego Theater.
Let us collect our thoughts.
We'll see you guys in a minute.
And now it's time for Ego Theater.
Speaking of swords and swordsmanship, let's talk about Dustin and his absolute butt-fucking rage when he's playing Dark Souls.
This is what you want to do for an Ego Theater? You want to talk about Dustin?
I want to continue this day of dunking on Dustin. Because it was fun. All right. It was funny.
I guess, okay, so the day that we're recording this, Tuesday, you guys are going to see this Wednesday that it's uploaded. Tuesday, the day before this was uploaded, Dustin was playing Dark Souls all day in our Discord chat. And, oh boy,
man.
I don't think he's ever played Dark Souls before.
Yeah.
So, those of us in the group who had, i.e. Noah and Scoot, we're giving him pointers on how to get through certain bosses and areas, and Dustin is just...
Me mash button, me brute force everything.
Dustin has been in a never-ending state of pure anger for pretty much the entire day.
Dustin, if you're seeing this, we're sorry, but we had to.
Hey, it wasn't my idea, man. Be mad at Jer.
Yeah, be mad at me. Be mad at the cripple.
Jer's the one in charge of the Ego Theater ideas.
Yes, I am. And I'm also charged of the thumbnail, so yeah, it's gonna be great.
Oh, God. Yeah, Oh, man. Is Dark Souls 3, too, which I've heard good things about. I've heard that Dark Souls 1 is good, Dark Souls 2 is ass, and Dark Souls 3 is the best one.
Scoot disagrees. Scoot says Dark Souls 1 is the best one, Dark Souls 2 is ass, and Dark Souls 3 is okay.
Huh. Yeah, I've heard the opposite, but...
Yeah.
I've never
guys
played
who-
any Souls-like, so I wouldn't know.
I'll take the advice of our friend who's been watching our other friend be mad and screaming for the last 8 hours today.
Yeah, but all Dark Souls games are like that.
Yeah, so are all Devil May Cry games, but you don't see me
I
complaining.
wouldn't say the Devil May Cry games are that bad, though.
Okay, DMC3, defend it.
Dark Souls is like fixed difficulty, where it's like you get good and you figure it out. Devil May Cry, you can lower the difficulty. So if you're having too hard a time, you can take it down a notch. Well, yeah, if you're a bitch, but not all gamers are gamers like us, Jer.
The fact that the game insults my fucking skill level whenever I die too much, it says you can lower the difficulty level. No, fuck you.
Oh, I fucking
now
hate
you
that.
Made it,
I fucking
you
hate
now
that.
made
dude.
it personal. You have now made it personal.
That's one of my, like, that gets me so heated when I'm playing a game, is like, I'll die once, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try again, and then I die a second time, and it's like, do you want to turn the difficulty down? And I'm like, no, I don't need to turn the difficulty down, I got it figured out. And then I'll beat the boss, or whatever I'm stuck on, right? And
just
then, like,
imagine.
and then, like, an hour or two later, when I'm still playing, it's like the first time I've died since then. I'll die, and it'll be like, oh, do you want to lower the difficulty? And I'm like, bitch, I will uninstall your ass right now.
Imagine if Punch-Out did that. You know how
Oh, God.
very-
Dude, Punch-Out would make me so mad.
Would you like to lower the difficulty by increasing your health by 2 times? No! No, fuck you, game!
No, I don't want to do that. Dude, I figured
I
out how
wanna
to
beat
emulate
both.
that. I figured out how to purchase legally and play.
That's fine, we bought the game like 3 times already. We can literally say emulate, we're fine.
Yeah. But we should do a series on that sometime, because Jared and I
have Dustin
fucking
play it.
love... Oh, we should have Dustin play it. That would be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be fun for
And you'll
us,
see
not
what
for
I'm-
Dustin. Dustin would be mad.
He'll try to brute force it. He'll get like
he
he will get some luck with like brute forcing some characters. He would actually do really good versus Bald Bull because of that.
He'll beat the shit out of Glass Joe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and everyone gets to beat the shit out of Glass Joe.
I know, Jared. I'm being funny.
Me funny.
I'm being an asshole, okay?
Right.
No, I think
But
he'd have fun playing Punch-Out. It's definitely
Yeah.
not Dark Souls.
It's definitely a puzzle game.
Yeah, the challenge in that doesn't feel like unfair.
Right.
It's just you're not reacting fast enough kind of thing, which I'm sure Dark
Yeah.
Souls probably is the same way. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the games are incredibly fair, like 100% fair. Only reason why you die is because it's your fault. Those are my favorite type of games. The games
Yeah.
are fair, and if you die, it's your fault. You don't feel cheated.
Right.
And I know how I do feel cheated because I got done playing GoldenEye Rogue Agent today, and they had the insta-kill lasers, and that's the only time in the final mission that they had that, and it was fucking infuriating. I have 2 life bars, one for armor and one for health. They should not have a weapon that instantly fucking kills me.
Right. Good. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Also, Dustin, if you're watching this, take your time playing Dark Souls. You don't have to mash the attack button. That's how you die.
I literally heard Dustin tell Noah and Scoot earlier that he's like, I don't want a game where I have to think. I want a game where I can just play it. He's like, I want to just play a game. I don't want to think about what I'm doing. If I wanted to think, I'd get a puzzle game.
I'm like,
or
bruh,
something like that. And I was just like, well, this isn't that kind of game, Dustin. This is Dark Souls. You gotta pick your moments to attack very carefully.
Right.
This is a game renowned for how hard it is and like the rage it instills in gamers worldwide.
Mhm.
There's a reason it's the phrase "it's the Dark Souls of," quote, has become a thing, is because these games are like very well renowned for how difficult they are. You can't just like rush through this kind of game, you know?
Crash Bandicoot is the Dark Souls of all platforms.
I mean, honestly, I would agree.
The high road.
no, I wouldn't.
The high road. The high.
The high road is a spike in difficulty compared to the rest of the levels in Crash 1. I would say that Cuphead is a lot closer to being the Dark Souls of platformers, but that's a very done-to-death statement that we shouldn't be bringing back in any way anyways. Because it's a
We
very
gotta play
poor
some-
way of comparing difficulty, but Cuphead is very difficult. I will give it that.
We gotta play more co-op Cuphead. That was a lot of fun.
Co-op
And so
Cuphead
we can,
was fun.
yeah. So we get to Pepe the Clown, and then that's when we'll say, "Yep, I'm done for the day. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, Dylan."
God, Beppy's such a pain in the ass, dude. Beppy's a pain even if you're playing solo, though.
Yeah.
Funny enough, the boss literally right next to him is like one of the hardest bosses in the game. Jimmy the Genie has like
So many goddamn phases.
he has so many more phases than any of the other bosses in the game. It's insane.
Right.
And
He has like
right
5 phases.
It's literally like, I think I talked about this before, but like you go through the whole first world of Cuphead and it's like they're all difficult enough bosses, but they're good enough for a starting area, and you're like, all right, I'm getting the hang of this, I'm getting it, and you kind of slowly working your way through each boss and making your way through that whole first area, right? And
then you get to Pepe the
Clown.
Clown.
You beat the first area, and you get to the second area, and then your first 3 bosses in the second area that you are walled behind are Baroness von Bonbon, who is a bitch of a boss, Beppy the fucking Clown, who will literally murk you in seconds if you're not paying attention, and Jimmy the Great, who is like the third hardest boss in the whole fucking game.
And it's a fucking marathon of a boss.
Yeah, dude, like, Jimmy is like the skill check for the plane levels. If you're not good at plane bosses, you will not take Jimmy's contract. He is the skill check for plane bosses. For sure.
It's the holy trinity of getting vibe checked.
Yeah.
Cuphead.
Literally. We should do a co-op playthrough series of that on the channel, though. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, they can actually hear us rage for a change instead of Dustin.
Yeah, I think you can do. I don't think you'll have to like come over to my place. I'm pretty sure we can just do. Steam has like a screen share.
I know.
Co-op.
I know. I tried getting people to play Guilty Gear Strive with me, but then they're like, "Oh well, yeah, I'll play Guilty Gear Strive with Jared." Oh wait, he plays with all the 1%ers and he plays against pros. Never mind.
Yeah, no thanks.
But Jacko funny crouch pose though.
That's why you get reported in that game, kid. It's because you play a character that everybody hates.
Yeah, no shit. But I don't play Ramethal though.
That's fair.
Or May.
Tatsugeki?
Tatsugeki!
Jesus. Spiked my audio, thank you.
Yeah, that was the point. It spikes my audio too every single time I hear it.
I thought it spiked your blood pressure.
That too. I lose a brain cell every single time I hear it when it gets done against me. That's why I always lose the matchup, because I just collectively lose intelligence until I die.
Did we do an ego theater about difficult video games before? I have a very distinct image in my head of like a background we did for an ego theater of like a dude sitting there playing video games, and we had like angry Kaito head on top of it for you.
We did. It was the deleted Mondo video.
Was it?
Yes. Remember, because we had to record the Mondo video twice?
No, I know, because I fucked up, but... Huh. Did we still talk about the same thing for the ego theater?
No, we changed it up completely differently.
Huh. Well, there it is now. Back to the main show.
And just like Twilight Syndrome murder case, we took up most of the fucking video. Yay!
Video games are hard.
Cocaine 'em.
What?
Cocaine 'em.
Cocaine 'em. Gotta get
That's
me some
all
of that white powdery stuff. That good stuff.
I gotta get me some of the white happy powder, you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say happy powder. Attentive powder would probably be more accurate.
Or to quote Aqua Team Hunger Force, booger sugar.
Booger sugar. God.
The only reason why I know that is because I was editing the Fire Emblem video, and that was the title of the video I used for the "I have a demon inside of me" for the YouTube.
Okay. Jesus. All right.
There's also
I think we already touched a bit on how well written Peko is, but let's go a little more in depth on that. I would say she's kind of like both well written and poorly written, but not by any direct fault of her as a character, because again, it's just some of her screen time gets donated to Fuyuhiko, which I guess in a way also makes sense because they kind of go hand in hand as characters because of their history, but
a master servant type character.
Yeah. I still feel like she deserved more. I know Mahiru definitely deserved more screen time.
Joey will cry.
Joey's always going to cry. There's nothing we can do to help him anymore.
Almost rage quit Danganronpa 2 because of it.
He did for like an hour.
Hey, you know, man up.
Yeah.
People die. So what?
I remember we were making fun of him because we were like, bro, if you can't even handle Mahiru, how are you going to handle V3? He took 2 steps into V3 and got put into a fucking week-long depression. I'm never going to stop laughing about that, dude. That's so funny.
It's kind of the pot calling the kettle black here.
No, I know. I didn't play it for a couple days either, but I was still like... I didn't cry because, like, I missed Kaede. Like, I cried because it was well written, and it made me sad. It did exactly what they set out to do.
You know that Joey, when he played V3, he was literally that girl crying meme where it says, please stop doing dumbass things, you're not making any sense. That was his reaction. Dylan's reaction was Kermit looking out of the window and it's raining.
Yeah. Joey was literally that one fucking streamer girl playing The Last of Us. It's just like, that's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And then Kaede just gets fucking hung and she's like,
Yeah.
Oh, God. So, Peko.
Anyway, Peko.
I think for what's there for Peko, between, like, committing the murder and covering it up and her connection to Fuyuhiko and their history with all that, I think a lot of that is really well done.
Right.
And it all unfortunately leads up to Shining Justice, which is not good. It's just a waste of your fucking time.
Yeah. Like, fucking hell.
It's an hour of you dealing with her over-the-top dramatic, like, I am shining justice, where crime lurks, I will follow. Just for her to, like, at the end, just take the mask off and go, yeah, I was faking. I don't know shit about shining justice.
And then it's literally, like, you spend that hour debating if she's the real shining justice or not. Like, bro, just hurry the fuck up.
And all it took was one comment from Sonya to go, no, shining justice is from Spain. Like, all that shit happens. She should be talking in full Spanish. She doesn't know English. And we all just kind of look at Peko and she's like, all right, you got me. That's all it took.
Yeah.
So why were we debating it for an extra hour of the trial time?
Right.
You know?
Like, fucking hell, just vote Peko.
Yeah.
Didn't, like, Fuyuhiko get involved and just say, no, it wasn't Peko, and he, like, refused?
Well, he was trying to deny it was her because he loves her. And she wasn't letting everyone vote Fuyuhiko because she to him.
She's subservient to him.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely love there, too. She just doesn't understand it because she was brainwashed as a child, basically, to be the sword for Fuyuhiko, not an actual person with feelings and thoughts.
Right.
Which is kind of the tragedy of her character, and I think that's also well done.
Like Maki, but worse.
She's got a... Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say worse, just different.
Different.
She's got a lot of good things going on. It's just elements of this chapter, from a writing standpoint, kind of drag her down a bit for me.
Right.
Especially the whole, like, sharing the most of your development with Fuyuhiko. Like I said before, at the end of the day, it gives us one hell of a great character in Fuyuhiko. On the downside, you had to sacrifice not only Peko, but a bit of Mahiru's development as well, just to do it.
A bit?
A good chunk.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hell, a good portion of the development that you get from Mahiru is the discussion of Twilight Syndrome and the death of Fuyuhiko's sister, and the nonstop babbling of the little gremlin about how nice she was to me. Which no one fucking cares.
Are we gonna talk about her first or Ibuki? Because I swear to God, we're gonna talk about Ibuki first.
We talk about the victim first, and since that's a double murder, I think Ibuki's the first body found, so I'm pretty sure we cover Ibuki first.
Good, because I want to talk about something lighthearted and fun for the next podcast.
Yeah.
This podcast has been these like two characters are a slog, and I want to talk about something fun before I really want to go full blown murder boner.
I think Mikon will be fun. Hiyoko's not going to be a fun episode because we both fucking hate her, and there's nothing redeeming for her as a character, like, at all. And we'll go more in depth on, like, her problems when we get to her, but, like, Mikon, I think, will be a fun episode because she's got a lot of good things and a lot of bad things going on.
Right.
And so it'll make for, like, fun discussion. I think she's got a lot more good than bad, but it'll still make for good discussion back and forth. Hiyoko's not going to make for any conversation. We're both just going to say she sucks. Move on.
More so than Leon, but we're going to be... Leon was more like a disappointment. We're going to be like, hate fucking Hiyoko.
Leon didn't have a character for us to hate. Hiyoko is just a constant stream of garbage that when she's finally gone, you're more so just relieved than you are anything else.
I think my favorite edit...
If anyone out there likes Hiyoko for whatever reason, comment something. Let me know why you like her, and don't say because she's mean to Mikon. That is not a good reason.
We already have a friend who does that, and that's fucking infuriating.
If you hate Mikon, that's fine, but that does not make Hiyoko a good character just because she also hates Mikon.
Back to Peko.
This is an interesting point, the impact of her character.
Oh, yeah.
Very high, because without her as a character, again, she goes hand in hand with Fuyuhiko, so without a lot of what happens with Peko this chapter, Fuyuhiko would not be nearly as strong as he is.
Right.
That's really all I have to say, because that's about all she did impact-wise.
It's a very good, like, catch-22, because impact is absolutely high for a different character.
Mm-hmm.
But her character herself is, like, it feels squandered. Like, My Hero has, like, what, 0 impact?
Yeah,
and
because the only character she really has impact on outside of this trial is Hiyoko, and again, we don't fucking care, because it never changes her. She doesn't grow as a person or a character from what Mahiru did, so Mahiru has no impact.
Right. Fuyuhiko gets fucking, like, transformed overnight as a different character because of Peko's, like, demise.
And it's like, if you could have given more focus to Mahiru and still sacrificed some of Peko's for Fuyuhiko, I wouldn't have as much a problem with it, because that would make sense. That Peko, even in a writing standpoint, is sacrificing herself for him to, like, be better. And it makes a lot of sense to have that happen for Peko, to sacrifice development, screen time, execution time, for Fuyuhiko to grow and develop. It's just, if you could have also not sacrificed Mahiru's development, that would have made this chapter great.
I just thought of something that just made me mad that they didn't do this.
What?
They should have done the Sakura approach for Peko.
What,
but
make it like a self-sacrifice for the better of everyone, not just Fuyuhiko kind of thing, or...
A self-sacrifice for the betterment of Fuyuhiko specifically.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of is that. It's just not as, like... It's not as, like, obvious or poetic or, dare I say, meaningful as Sakura's was.
Yeah.
Sakura's was more out of, like, a love for her friends and a hate for Monokuma for forcing her to, like, betray the people that she started caring about.
Right.
And Peko's is more so just, like... It's more so just, like, on the writing side. She just... A lot of, like, her characterization just gets given to Fuyuhiko instead.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, like, yeah, Fuyuhiko's a great character because of this, but oh my god, they have to just write great characters from the start. But V3 fixes this a lot.
A lot of the moments between her and Fuyuhiko this chapter are good for her as a character.
Right. Yes. I wish there was more of it, because most of the time, leading up to this chapter, like, Fuyuhiko would, like, walk away, and then Peko would just, like, silently excuse herself and walk away. Not necessarily with them, but just walk away.
Yeah. And it's like, to bring back an earlier point about how characters don't get like focus before their chapters, and then they get focus, and then they're dead and gone.
Right.
It makes sense with Peko because like Fuyuhiko told her like pretend that we don't know each other. We're just strangers in this school together. So she's just like hanging out, not really doing anything.
And I don't care if it doesn't make no sense that, like for example, why was Makoto like there for the bro out? Well, that's because because the player needs to see like a couple character development between Mondo and Taka.
Wait,
Makoto
who?
doesn't really need to be. I'm using chapter 2 from Danganronpa 1 for example.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
like,
this game. I was like, what? Bruh.
Bruh.
No, yeah, I know
But
what
no.
you mean. The bro out between Taka and Mondo.
Yeah. I mean, it's something. Even though, like, literally, like, Makoto's literally like, I don't even need to be here
Yeah,
for this to happen.
it's the little moments like that before everything happens that really help you, like, get to know the characters better before they're gone. And they're not even moments that, like, it's not free time event. So it's, like, things that are, like, canon that happen in the story that you were there as a player and a person to witness. It characterizes them without you needing to spend time with them to do so, and when shit hits the fan later, not only does it provide some important clues that only you would know to help you kind of piece it all together, but it's also stuff that like makes you care about them being in this situation.
Right.
And
Most
you know,
of the
now
time-
that you mention it, a lot of Danganronpa 2 doesn't really have moments like that.
Yeah. Like, yeah, they don't have... Like, they have some moments, like in Chapter 4, where everyone's, like, doing all the rides and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're
that
like
doesn't-
things.
that's like-
They're like things with like Soda in the diner, waiting to see all the girls in their swimsuits that don't heavily relate to like the murder like that. It only really serves for you to catch Peko's like alibi out of place.
Right. Which is ironic, because I think Soda gets a lot of character development in this game, because Soda does a lot in this game.
Just because
Soda-
you're hanging out with him for a couple chapters against your will, and
Yeah.
he lives till the very end, so you get to see and like hear him like
Well,
put his 2 cents
yeah.
in a lot of the time.
yeah. He also gets the radio for Chapter 3, and he fixes the elevator in Chapter 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the little moments add up. That's why I think, like, a character, like, I like, Dylan may disagree with me, but I think Soda's a really good character in Danganronpa 2.
I just think Soda's fun to hate on, like fucking
Yeah.
Hifumi,
Yeah.
because he's a
Like,
fucking
yeah.
simp. He's a hopeless romantic simp that I just
Like-
like to point and laugh at, even though he's like
But-
pretty helpful.
Yeah, but being forced to hang out with Soda a bunch of times builds up character.
Yeah,
You
it
don't
builds a
get that in-
relationship with him that you're not getting with a lot of the like other cast in this
Yeah.
game.
Like, you do that with characters that you live with in this game, but you don't get that with a bunch of characters that die in this game.
And a big
You get-
example of that in V3 is Kaito, with how like brotherly
Oh my-
and mentorish he is to Shuichi, and you're constantly spending time with him moving forward. So like the majority of the game you're hanging out with him, and then Maki gets introduced into the group, and you guys are like story-wise, not free time-wise, you're spending so much time with them in
Right.
between chapters and murders that you get to know them really well, free time or not. And that's what like really differentiates the other 2 games from Danganronpa 2.
And also, this also extends to other characters too, like the bug event for Gonta.
Yeah. That really
Yeah.
helps you learn more about Gonta and like how passionate he is.
Right?
It helps
Setting
you
up
learn
for
more
him-
about Kokichi and how fucking conniving he is. Like
Yep. Yeah. And also, like, setting up for what's her name? What's the witch girl's name again? Himiko.
Himiko, yeah.
Himiko, for like setting up her magic trick, and the cult of Angie or Atua, the literally tea time with Samugi, like talking to Maki,
Mhm.
literally Kibo in the fucking compressor.
I love that bit so much. Yeah.
You spend so much time with these characters. That's not part of the free time. This is why I wanted to say the free time doesn't count, because
a
the
lot of
free
free
time-
time is like, if you don't experience it as a player, then it didn't happen, basically.
Right.
And like a lot of it is like, most of the time, because of the like relationship building aspect of this game, it comes back to like Mahiru. A lot of it is just you and other character, quote unquote, falling in love with each other.
Right.
Like, Mahiru, yeah, there's context clues there that she might have a crush on Hajime, but it's, like, outright confirmed if you do free time with her, but you end up feeling the same. If you get close to, like, Fuyuhiko by the end of it, he basically...
brothers.
Yeah, you guys basically become blood brothers, and he makes you, like, an official, like, member of his crew.
Right.
Sonya, if you free time with Sonya, she literally, like, says that after you guys get out of here, you're going to marry her and, like, rule her country with her. Like,
right.
A lot of the free time is just you guys falling in love. And that's why we don't look at it that closely, because at the end of the day, that's all it really goes into. And I know it builds more character for them, and it helps you learn more about them, but like I said a minute ago, if you, the player, didn't experience it in your playthrough, then it doesn't technically happen, you know?
Yeah.
It becomes non-relevant to the rest of the story.
It never impacts the story if you do the free time or not. You can literally play the entire game skipping every free time.
Yeah.
Even the game says right out at the start, like, if you don't want to do all this, like, lovey-dovey mushy shit, you could skip it and go straight into the murder mystery.
And you can skip plenty of free time in V3 too, and we're probably not going to talk about the free time in V3 either, because it more or less just goes down the same route of you falling in love with them or just becoming extremely close. Like,
and I know people are going to say bonus scenes. Bonus scenes are also skippable because you don't need the items to actually see them, so that means they never happen.
Yeah. So it's like we said, as far as like the first game and V3 go, you spend a lot of canon, non-free time with a lot of these characters, and that's what helps you get to know them better, and that's something that every player will experience.
Mm-hmm.
In the Mondo and Taka case, you feel bad for both of them when the moment comes out that, like, Mondo's the murderer and Taka has his breakdown. You feel bad for both of them because you're like, oh, they hated each other, and now they're just getting, like, close. Now they're, like, bros. And you get to witness the beginning of their, like, bro-ship, and now you're seeing that ship fucking sink because there's a huge bloody hole in the front of the hull, you know? Like, it fucking sucks. But you got to experience it no matter what you did. You understand that. There's character building there.
Yeah. You also see, like, a bunch of Celeste's, like, big, like, motive play. Like, it's just a game and everyone's gonna win. You get to see, the rival characters we really don't need to, like, discuss because, of course, they're gonna get a bunch of, like,
screen time.
Yeah. The screen time. Even then, like, Genocide Jill, again, you hang out with this character, too. You
see Jill all the time, just in passing, because she's following Togami around and being weird.
Right.
Not to mention the trials.
Yeah, you hang out with Yasuhiro sometimes, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You literally go with depressed Taka into the fucking locker room to get him all, like, fucking Mondo Taka'd up. Give him Ultra Instinct. You don't see that in this game.
There's not that much, and the events that do happen, like I said, especially this chapter, don't relate or I should say as closely to the chapter's murder as others do. Like, we've even got next chapter, in chapter 3, we've got Ibuki's concert in the Titty Twister, which is...
the greatest name for a fucking salon.
It's the Titty Typhoon. The Titty Twister is the name of the actual bar that it's based on from Dusk Till Dawn. But you've got her concert in the Titty Typhoon, which is great. Has a lot of funny moments between her and some of the other girls that get on stage with her and stuff.
I broke that fucking doorknob.
Yeah, like there's so much good Ibuki character stuff happening, and she's already been a bit of a fucking character throughout the beginning of the game. But she's more the comedic relief. But she gets moments like the concert, which kind of lend to her more in Chapter 3 when she's gone, so you feel bad there. I don't think anyone felt bad that Hiyoko got killed, because all she did before that was bitch and complain and make fun of people. Right.
And was a bitch.
And nothing fucking changes with her at all.
And another example, it's before Nekomaru dies at the end of chapter 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's completely absent for chapter 3, and then he comes back in chapter 4.
Yeah.
And then unless Akane's then he dies again. Unless Akane's hanging out with Nekomaru, Akane's in this constant state of being the same character.
Yeah. She and Hiyoko, I think, are the two biggest offenders of just they don't change. ever.
Right.
Akane has, like...
Moments.
She has, like, shades of character growth, and then it regresses because they just find a way to bring Nekomaru back again.
Right. As a pocket watch, but...
Yeah.
Minimaru,
Stupid fucking alarm clock thing.
Yeah.
But to rein this back into Peko, and the original point that we were making, is that she died the way she was written as a character, was a tool to further Fuyuhiko. And that works. And it's good.
That works.
The problem is that it also took impact away from Mahiru because it took focus away from her. And that's my biggest problem with this chapter, is that you shouldn't... Peko makes sense, because that's the way that she was written, that's the way that she always was, that's the way she was raised to be, was just another tool for Fuyuhiko to ascend greater heights, as it were.
A character can make sense, but they could still be like a poor character.
Yeah, I think Peko is handled well for how she was written. I just don't like that they also had to sacrifice Mahiru to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They could have just put a more focus on her, or hell, even have Hiyoko. You could literally, all next chapter, you could still have Hiyoko die in chapter 3, but have her try to be nicer to people. Have her, like, start to say something mean and then stop, and then try and say something much less mean. Have her attempt apologies. Like, even if she doesn't apologize, she's trying. That shows growth. That shows that Mahiru had an effect on her. That shows that her death in this chapter meant something for the cast moving forward. Even if it didn't mean anything for anyone else. Even if it didn't mean anything for anyone else, just Hiyoko. You still have that connection between her and Hiyoko as a pair. That's still something. That's impact. That's something that leaves a mark that Mahiru made a difference here. Instead her death just happens. She gets no development that she needs to really get fleshed out, and she leaves no lasting impact because the only character that you had a connection for her with moving forward just didn't change. She didn't learn anything.
Cut and paste this segment into the Hiyoko video.
I'm going to be repeating this point a lot because it just makes me so upset.
Right.
Like, that's partly why Hiyoko makes me so mad, is because, one, she's just a bitch.
Right.
There's nothing about her that is even, like, remotely redeeming to me. Mm-hmm. And the moment that she has a chance for redemption is here. And it gets squandered. It doesn't happen. And it just makes me hate her even more. And then when she dies in chapter 3, I'm just like, oh, thank God. I thought it was going to be someone I actually liked.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fine to have a character like that, but make them a villain. Or some kind of, like, I don't know. I just feel like Hiyoko should be... I feel like they wanted her to be more liked, but I feel like she's, like, if she's not the bottom of the popularity list by, like, a fucking C mile, I will be so surprised if there's anyone under Hiyoko that the fanbase likes less. I would really be surprised.
Probably the pedophile brother from Ultra Despair Girls, but that's probably it.
Oh, I forgot about the Despair Girls cast. There might be a couple that are under Hiyoko in that case, in case anyone in that game is as bad, but I don't know, man. Hiyoko's pretty bad.
Right.
I'm okay with characters being mean.
Miu,
but it's like,
Miu's a great example.
Miu is a great example because she's funny, and Hiyoko has moments of being funny too. But it's just like Miu has bits of her character where, like, if anyone stands up to her for being mean, she instantly backs down. She has weaknesses. Hiyoko does not back down. Even if she knows she's in the wrong, she doubles down.
She also picks the fight with the one character who deserves it the least.
Yeah, and she is just... And I know that speaks volumes to her as a character, but at the same time, it's like, again, nothing redeeming ever happens.
Right. Kind of makes sense. I'm like, yeah, Mikan had a great motive for killing Hiyoko. Let me tell you what.
We're still on impact, and at this point, it's just me bitching about Mahiru's lack of impact for characters moving forward. Peko's impact is fine. Because without her as a character, Fuyuhiko would not be nearly as good as he is.
Right. I mean, like, if you were to do, like, another mean character, first Tenko. Tenko's really mean to Suichi.
Tenko starts out just like another Hiyoko, but she evolves and changes. That's why she's a good character.
Yeah. It's just a shame that at the end,
That's the
chapter.
difference. If you guys aren't sure about character development, take it from me, because characters are a big thing for me. This is the kind of thing that makes the difference between a Hiyoko and a Tenko, is that Tenko changed. She grew as a character. She learned. Hiyoko does not. And that's what's frustrating about her as a character. That's why no one likes her.
Right.
So, I think we've repeated this point enough. So let's move on to trivia. Stuff that's more interesting.
Just like Peko, everything else involving Peko is tossed aside to focus on someone else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We really did just go on a hell of a tangent bitching about Hiyoko and like comparing things to V3 again, huh?
And don't worry, there's going to be more to come.
Man, I can't wait until after we're done with Hiyoko's episode so we don't have to compare her to anything else again. Well, unless we get to Tenko anyway. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, at least Tenko has some, like, redeeming qualities. I don't think we're going to have, like, another, like a hard-on to fucking hate on.
Well, Tenko has a ton of redeeming qualities. That was my whole point. Was that she changes and adapts as a character as time goes on. She learns from the characters that come before her.
Her suplexing Suichi and Himiko are funny, though.
And that's another reason I get so upset at Chapter 3 of V3, is you had so much potential here to do so much, like, great things with Tenko's character and, like, how she, like, impacts Himiko moving forward, and they just didn't do any of it. I'm like, dude, why? Why wouldn't you do this? There's so much stuff you could do.
Not the time for tears now, Dylan. Tears come later.
So sad. All right. Peko's actually got a pretty decent chunk of trivia here. Peko's first name, in Japanese, is written in katakana, one of two Japanese syllabaries, usually used to write loanwords and foreign names, and so doesn't have any special meaning. Peko, her last name, however, is a sound effect onomatopoeia often used for bowing. The repetition effect is reflected in her name. It does mirror real feminine names, however, with ko being a common suffix for female names. Peko can also mean obsequious or servile, befitting the fact she was raised by the Kuzu-Ryu family to be the Fuyuhiko's tool, quote-unquote. Due to Chinese only having one alphabet compared to the three that Japanese has, Peko's first name is transliterated into a Chinese character that I don't know. The first half of the character means to admire or to respect, matching the idea of bowing her name has in Japanese.
Okay.
Interesting. Her last name, Pekoyama, is composed of symbols for border or vicinity, a symbol for old, and a symbol for mountain, making the meaning of the name Pekoyama something along the lines of around the old mountain. That's cool. Cool. Hey, look at this. Peko and Sakura Ogami both used to attend Shiranui High School. I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. They both went to the same high school, which is cool because we were comparing her to Sakura a couple times. We know this. Peko presumably learned about the serial killer Sparkling Justice from Sonia, since she heard Hajime and Sonia talk about the serial killer in the library when the group investigated the second island for the first time.
Repeated. Plot points.
Yeah, we know this already. This didn't need to be in trivia, dude. That's literally a plot point that you use against her to prove she's not fucking Sparkling Justice. Oh, here we go. See, now this is trivia. The mask Peko claims to don in the second trial shares characteristics with one of Japan's most prominent mascots, Peko-chan, of Fuhiya-ko, including the outward sticking tongue. Peko's mask, known as Sunny Witch, Esper Itu-chan, is blonde and wears a golden tiara with aquamarine gems, making her somewhat similar in appearance to Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
See,
I did get some heavy, like, hardcore. I did get some hardcore, like, Sailor Moon vibes whenever I saw the mask.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Peko's death poster in the trial room is crossed out with two blades in reference to her ultimate talent, which that's another thing that I think we've touched on a few times before, is that customized death portraits started with this game. Yeah. And I'm glad that they expanded on it in V3, because almost every character in V3 has a unique death portrait.
Even the characters that don't die.
Yeah, even the characters that don't have, like, a different, like, style of cross. Like, Kaede's and someone else's both have, like, the basic X, but, like, the second characters... It is Rantaro's, yeah.
Yeah.
But Rantaro's X is like, it looks like it's
Inverted.
painted with like a different brush than Kaede's, and it's like certain like sides of it are longer or shorter compared to hers.
Yep.
Yeah, which is cool.
Ryoma's still the funniest to me. Just big X.
Oh, here we go. Well, going forward with the Sailor Moon references, Peko's Japanese voice actress, I'm gonna butcher this, I'm so sorry, Kotono Mitsuishi, also voiced Sailor Moon. She was one of the few voice actors specified by the creators to portray a specific character.
Okay, now that's cool. That's pretty dope.
She also shares the same birthday as Sailor Moon, June 30th, and shares her birthday with the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy.
Mm.
How about that, huh? That's cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I kind of like that, actually. That makes me appreciate the Shining Justice bit just a little more than I did. Is that it's got a lot of this like focused reference to Sailor Moon, which I'm sure is a lot more prominent in Japanese culture than it is over here in the West, even though I know it's also pretty popular over here in the West. So that actually makes me kind of appreciate the Shining Justice bit a little more. I still think it could have been done much better than it was, but this is cool. Yeah. This is really cool to know.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, that's Peko. Pekoyama. I know we spent a good chunk of the video talking about the things besides Peko, but I mean, it all goes hand in hand. There's a lot of like, I know we go off on these tangents, but it's because there's a lot of like shared ideas and like style and execution in ideas that is shared between all these Danganronpa games, and it's hard not to make these like connections and comparisons because it's like the same kind of ideas for certain characters was done better in like the first game compared to this one, or done much better in V3 compared to like the first one or this one. Like, I know we go to V3 a lot, but that's because that's like everything that they wanted to do with this game perfected. Almost.
And not to mention with the second game, when they start going into like chapter 3 and 4, they literally start saying verbatim. They're like, "Oh yeah, these are like same as the Hope's Peak murders, so everything has a pattern."
Exactly, and that's another thing that's like I'm okay with that. And this is kind of also where the series established its whole like quote unquote pattern idea for the murders. So like, that was another reason I felt like I didn't like Shining Justice, was because it also felt like it was just kind of shoehorned in to accommodate like the serial killer reveal of Genocide Jack in Trigger Happy Havoc. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
It's like,
I feel like they should have either.
It's like poetry; it rhymes.
Yeah, I feel like they should have either just focused on one idea over the other, video game or serial killer. If they wanted to stick with the whole pattern thing, they could have just stuck with Shining Justice and really like focused on that, and then maybe we could have done Twilight Syndrome for Chapter 3, and instead of killing off 3 characters, they could have just killed off the one with us having to solve the murder of Fuyuhiko's sister. His character development would have come later, but we would have still gotten some here with Peko, and that could have carried over into Chapter 3. You would have freed up space to focus Mahiru, and you could have focused on more characters next chapter, like Ibuki.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's maybe that's how I would have done it. I don't know. I'm not writing the Danganronpa games, and I'm sure I have tons of respect for the writing team for these games, because there's bound to be mistakes and things that just don't work. But these are very like, these are murder mystery games on an anime scale, which means they have to be twice as dramatic as normal, and they have to be a little over the top in some areas. And writing stuff this like good, especially on V3's level, is very complicated, and it's very hard to do. That's why there's a whole team of writers, and I can understand some of them were probably frustrated after V3 and didn't want to come back to the series. I get it. It's probably really stressful.
Right. Not to mention the Kaede's Rube Goldberg machine, murder machine.
Yeah. There's just the first chapter alone of V3 is like almost more complicated than the first 2 games put together. But there's there's a lot of stuff going on in these games, and I think that's kind of why I wanted to do this podcast, was because I wanted to break down like everything and just kind of like put everything in the series under a magnifying glass for everyone else to kind of look at closer and appreciate with us.
Mm-hmm. And we're not Weeby News. We don't want to break down characters because of their free times and
we're not deep diving the characters themselves and their history. Weeby does a good job at that. That's what she's focused on, and that's fine. I think the characters, when you're looking at all the free time and all the like added content, are great. They're perfect. They're very well done. We're just looking at the writing.
Yeah, we're the story writing guys.
Yeah.
We're not the character guys. We're the story writing guys. There's a big difference.
Maybe someday we'll do an off-topic looking at like some of the like better free times and how they really like impact a character from like low-tier character to like very good.
Yeah, if we count Fuyuhiko's free times, he would definitely be like a 10 out of 10 character. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, he's got a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah, Fuyuhiko's free time is fucking great.
I want to look at characters like... We were just shit-talking Hiyoko a minute ago. I want to look at her free times. Do they change her at all? You know? No, does it make her more relatable as a character? I'm sure there's a reason she's such a bitch. And the fact that she picks on Mikan means that she's probably got pretty low self-esteem. Especially the fact that she's so short. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the reason, because it's the only thing that really makes sense to me, knowing characters, but...
And so to target them one of the most emotionally damaged characters in the entire game, that's going to earn you sympathy points. Don't be like what Miyu did and literally attacked everyone, and then she got fucking stood up, and then she...
Yeah.
Well.
Final thoughts on Peko, Jer?
Yeah, Fuyuhiko's side chick was a good hustle.
I'm just going to summarize what we said. She's solid in the fact that she was used to further another character. And if that's clearly what they wanted her to be, and I know that doesn't seem like a character. She's like, oh, I'm just a tool. I'm just my master's tool. That is a character. That's what she was raised as. Her character is that she was raised to literally be a non-thinking, like, person. Entirely focused and dependent for another character. That is a character.
Okay, Tsubaki from Soul Eater. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, okay, I'm just a tool for... Tsubaki from Soul Eater does this trope way better.
Tsubaki, who is that?
Black Star's weapon.
Oh, right. I never really got that impression from her.
Yeah.
She's more just it feels like she's the brains in the Black Star operation, and she's just kind of like stuck with like Naruto, but but like a Soul Eater styled ninja. That's literally what Black Star feels like to me. He just feels like Naruto without the very good backstory. But not to say that Black Star's is bad.
Yeah,
but
Black Star
he has the same energy. He has the same character energy is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
The whole like believe it, I'll be the greatest someday. You'll see. That's literally Black Star and Naruto go hand in hand with that.
Right.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't say that she's like I'm only a tool and nothing else. Right. But I can kind of see where you're comparing though.
No. She had a chapter in Soul Eater where that was like the whole plot point where she was remember she was fighting her brother as the sword, right? And that was like her
it's
whole
been a while since I've seen the anime.
Yeah. Dude, that's fair. I've watched this anime like 5 times. The very first anime I ever watched. So I watched it a couple times.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch it one of these days, probably.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, Jared, what do you give Miss Pekoyama here?
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's pretty low, buddy.
I mean, what are you gonna rate her?
I definitely don't think she's a 4, but she's not as middle of the road without flaw as other characters.
Makoto's your 5 out of 10. Remember that.
Is he?
Yes.
Did I say 5 out of 10? I thought we gave him a 6. Most of the middle of the road characters we gave a 6. You gave Makoto a 6. I gave Makoto a 7.
Who did we give 5s then to?
Chihiro. You gave Genocide Jill, a 4 out of 10, and I gave her a 5. You gave Hina a 5 out of 10, and I gave her a 6. Mukuro, you didn't give anything. You said not applicable, and I gave Mukuro a ham sandwich. That's pretty funny, actually. I gave Junko a 5 out of 10, and you gave her a -3, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Actually, the majority of the cast in Trigger Happy Havoc, we gave a 6 or a higher.
Right.
So
do I think Peko's higher than like on par or higher than most of the?
I was gonna say a 5
that?
out of 10
No.
for Peko, honestly, because I think for what they wanted her to be as a character, I think she's pretty well done.
Right.
She just has the few faults, like the Shining Justice bit is like, it doesn't need to be there.
Well, continuing the trend of me being a little bit harsher than you, I'm gonna stick with my 4 out of 10 judgment.
Well, she's also not the character for you. I'm not looking at this as like characters made for like specific people, because they do that. It's like, this is the character for like these kind of people in the fan base
Right.
that they will
Right.
enjoy. I'm not looking at it like that, and Peko's clearly not your kind of character, so I can understand if you're going to be a little harsher. I'm trying to look at this very objectively, just like, is she good?
Yeah, I am. I'm looking at this objectively too. But
You're saying you're
feel-
not going to give Chiaki a fucking 10 out of 10.
I am not gonna give Chiaki a 10 out of 10.
I don't believe you, but I feel like you're going to now just because I said you wouldn't.
No. Objectively, I will not give Chiaki a 10 out of 10. No. I'm actually more looking forward to that debate and our debate versus Angie because I got some words.
I will give you guys credit because I know this is mainly what you want to fight about. I think Angie was written to be a cult leader, but she is not a traditional cult leader.
Praise be the Lord Jesus, he finally admitted it.
She was written to be that. I was arguing that she's not because she doesn't have like any similarities with most traditional cult leaders in like actual true crime.
Yeah.
Most cult
Not to
leaders have like a very specific like checklist of like
Right.
things that they do that gets their cult going. Angie doesn't
Right.
have like any of that really, except for maybe like 1 or 2 things, but I do think that that's kind of how she's written to be.
Right.
Definitely by
Also-
chapter 3, she doesn't have any real hostility towards anyone. It doesn't really feel like
Oh,
she's
no,
just
no,
kind
no,
of
no.
like
By chapter 3, I'm going to argue that she's the most evil character in the entire cast, and that's going to be a fun fight.
I wouldn't say evil. She's definitely
Evil.
she's
She-
definitely a central antagonist at that point, but not because she's like evil. It's because she's doing what she thinks is right.
She literally throws Himiko under the bus in chapter 2.
Well, yeah. But not out of like a distaste for Himiko. It's like literally just her being honest. I don't know. I didn't see it as mean or like antagonistic. We'll talk about it when we get to Angie in like a year. At this fucking rate.
Right.
Jesus.
I don't know, we've been steady for the last couple weeks.
Yeah. Just the
Who knows?
last 3.
Right.
Hopefully,
Well, I said the
I don't know
last
if it's
couple.
going to be on time. Next week's episode is an off-topic that I think you guys will really like. It was kind of a last-minute idea, but we're going to have a couple guests. It's going to be very on theme with Danganronpa. Jer's going to be editing this one because it's going to be a little different. It's not going to be
I'm doing a
Danganronpa
special-
Jeopardy, but you guys will like it. Trust me.
It's I'm also doing a special edited intro for this off topic too.
Which he really doesn't need to do, but he's bored and needs things to work on, so...
I'm crippled, god damn it. I need to do some work. I need work and I need it now.
Fuck, man. This episode is so long. Holy shit.
How long will we do with the non sequiturs?
Currently we're running at almost an hour and a half.
Oh my god.
But I
An
feel like
extra
I feel like this happens a lot anyways with the Blackened, because this is where a lot of the points hit like a fever pitch, and the impact discussion and like everything that like we talked about between like her execution and her character and her personality and how well she's written, everything that correlated to moving forward for both the characters in this game and the series is like in general. I think it's very fitting conversation, even though we went off topic of Peko herself a lot. But
Yeah.
It's like this is one of the biggest offenders of like impact not mattering as much or taking away development from other characters. This is like one of the biggest offenders, so I think it needed to be said. But yeah. So yeah, next week off topic, a fun one. Hopefully next week. I don't know if it's gonna. We might need an extra week just to make sure that it's properly like edited. But yeah, look forward to that. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna try and keep pumping out as many as we can. If we're gone for a couple weeks, just chalk it up to life getting in our way, man.
I'm moving into a different building.
Yeah, so that might hinder some uploads here and there, but we've got videos lined up to be pumped out in the next few weeks. So, just keep an eye on us.
I'll try my damnedest. I'm gonna be the guy editing from now on, so I'll be because I really can't work. So
well, the majority.
Might as well, right?
He's going to be pumping his own stuff out. I'm going to be pumping my own stuff out like normal, so you'll just see a lot more of Jared's stuff.
Yeah. We got Paladins really on Monday, but...
On Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is news to me. Paladins video Monday. You're welcome. Oh, and we have a video coming out on Friday that you guys will like. More fucking Pokemon.
More Pokemon.
Yeah, more Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's a fun one. This is one of the ones that I was really excited to get to when I was editing the Pokemon videos. You guys will love it.
I can't wait to be content copped by fucking...
By what, fucking Pokemon YouTube?
Probably.
They don't care, man. They're all making videos on the same fucking games. I'm making videos on Pokemon Heart Gold with a randomizer. They don't give a shit. If they do, they could kiss my ass.
But everyone does randomizers.
Most people do Nuzlocke, actually.
Oh, that's true.
Randomizers aren't as popular.
But what about randomizers?
They do happen, yes. You're a genius, Jerry. You've just discovered untapped content potential.
Randomizer Nuzlocke Radical Red.
What, are you trying to give them an aneurysm? Fuck off. Get out of here. Come on. You too, audience. Get out of here. You bother me. All of you. This video's too long.
I'm gonna go have a stroke trying to do the Randomizer Nuzlocke Radical Red challenge.
I'm going to... Fuck, man. I don't know.
You know what I do at the end of Clue? I'm gonna go home and fuck my wife.
You already said you were gonna go have an... You know what? Never mind.
I'm saying this is what you should say.
Good night, everybody.
Fuck.